Okay, so next thing is how to spot it in yourself, and as a coach, how to spot which members potentially have hypermobility. And got to pay credit where credit's due. Annie Smith, awesome doctor, who came up with this concept that I kind of just crudely named the clumsy sign. And the clumsy sign is, you know, maybe as a kid you were just generally clumsy. Maybe you didn't have the best balance. You didn't have the best spatial awareness. You're always bumping into things. You'd be surprised how often that can link back to hypermobility. And without going into too much detail, the more we said previously, the more joint laxity you have, those people tend to have pretty bad feedback from their or proprioception, which is basically a fancy term for joint position sense. Being able to tell where your joints and limbs are in space without visual feedback. So as Jill Miller calls it, it's your anatomical sobriety test. So if I close my eyes and I can touch my, I'm glad I got that right, got my index finger to my nose, how can I do that without actually seeing it? That's essentially my proprioception. It's my receptors, my sensory receptors, sending feedback up to my brain to tell me where my joints are in space. So that tends to be pretty deficient or not as good in people that have that large amount of joint laxity. Maybe you had really vague, non-specific multi-joint pain. You don't have any, you couldn't attribute it to any specific injury or anything like that, but you just had aches. Maybe it was maybe you heard it labelled as growing pains, stuff like that, just throughout your whole body. Again, that can be a sort of classic sign.
Okay, so let's just review the symptoms that we went through regarding hypermobility. First off, the clumsy sign. Again, just a little bit of a sort of jokey name, but really just focusing on the idea that have you generally not had the greatest coordination, the greatest spatial awareness and things like that. Are you that guy who's always bumping into things? You never know, that may be linked back into our second point, poor proprioception. So again, proprioception is just one of those fancy terms that describes your joint position sense and that brain muscle joint position feedback that is a lot of the times deficient or not so good in people with hypermobility. And then lastly, vague, non-specific multi-joint pain that is atraumatic, that you can't link back to a specific injury or accident or trauma that you've experienced. Again, maybe you've heard this described as growing pains, may not be the case, but three things there that you can think about that if they're positive, if you do have those things and you tick them off, you may well be hypermobile. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, do us a favour, like and subscribe, and if you want to find out more about our upcoming videos, please follow the link to the AthletefixEP Facebook page and give us a like on there. It'll keep you up to date with all our upcoming videos and new content that's available. Okay, thanks again, and in the next video we'll be going through how to formally assess for hypermobility to confirm that the people you suspect have it actually do, and to be able to quantify it. Hopefully see you then.